Hi Budgeteers, I'm Drew.
And I'm Mandy.
And we're the Lindsays. And the purpose of our channel is to share with you how to budget and just be a little more financially smart. We've learned a lot of stuff. We became debt-free in February of this year, and we just want to share our knowledge with you so that you can also live a good life.
So Drew and I started dating back in 2016, and I had become debt-free the previous year, and all I had was basically student loans and some credit card debt. I found out Drew had about $14,000 in credit card debt, car loan, and then he financed a dirt bike. We decided that when we got married, we didn't want to have debt in our marriage, so we were going to pay it off. Drew wanted to pay it off on his own, and then I would start paying on his debt once we got married. So while I was waiting to get married, I was making sure I had my credit card paid off. We made sure that we had an emergency fund for both of us, and
we were saving for our wedding
and
too.
we were saving for our wedding and our honeymoon and all of that, and making sure our bills were paid. Even with my wedding ring, I told Drew I do not want debt on my ring. Pay cash for it. So we actually used his tax return to pay for my lovely ring, and he didn't go into debt for it at all. And luckily, I'm a woman of simple taste.
She loves her ring.
I love my ring. Drew had been trying to pay off his debt for a while, but he was living the single life and having fun and wasn't super serious about it, wasn't really sure how to do it.
It was a little overwhelming because, to me it was a lot of money, 14 grand, but
I mean, it is a lot of money. And we decided that we wanted to live a debt-free life when we got married. While we were dating, he didn't want me helping him pay for the debt until we were official. So we separately were saving our emergency funds and saving for our wedding. He was paying off his debt. He sold his dirt bike before we got married. That dropped the debt down a lot. When we finally got married, and around July, he had about $7,200 left. And we went on a camping trip up to Idaho, and my sister-in-law told me about her sister and brother-in-law, and they were going to be paying off their home in 5 years. They were debt-free and just budgeted like crazy. So we wanted to meet with them. They invited us over to their home, and they told us all about their debt-free life with Dave Ramsey and their budgeting and how they did the envelope system, and they made less money than we did. And so we knew then and there that we were going to be able to do it. They challenged us to read Dave Ramsey's book, The Total Money Makeover. We went home, Drew downloaded the audiobook, and that next weekend we went up to Yellowstone camping with his family, and we listened to it the whole drive up. And right then and there we knew that was a plan we could stand behind, that we knew we could follow, and that we could do it.
We spent a couple nights there, had fun, and then on the drive home we talked about, like, let's do this. Like, this is gonna suck and it's gonna be really hard, but this is what we want, so we're willing to sacrifice temporarily, you know, to better our long-term future. So
yeah, and so we got home and we buckled down. Drew had us sit down together as a family, and we wrote down how much we made, what each bill was, exactly what we needed to live on each month, and then what we could put towards our debt at the end of each month as well. So we had a goal of paying off our debt in about 7 months. So we reported back to Brett and Alyssa, and we let them know our plan, and they were so happy and excited for us. And they let us know that we'd be amazed at how fast we could pay it off. We could probably even pay it off in less time. So we got stoked. We were like, oh my gosh, we were thinking this was going to take us years to pay off, and we found out it was going to take us less than a year. So we buckled down. We started really paying off our debt in September. That's when we became official. We cut out going out to eat. We cut out buying any fun things for ourselves. We paid our bills and we paid off our debt. And amazingly, with hard work and a very strict budget, we were able to...
And saying no.
We said no a lot. My friends heard it a lot. Drew's friends heard it a lot. People heard us talking about money all the time and how we were trying to get out of debt. Everyone knew around us. And sometimes it was so frustrating because we wanted to go out to eat. We wanted to go hang out with our friends and spend money going to the comedy club or just going out to get ice cream, but we had our goal and we stuck to it. And amazingly enough, Drew and I were actually able to pay off our debt a month early, February 7th, 2018. and we went to a sushi dinner together to celebrate.
So yeah, that's kind of what we did, and there's a lot more little details. Like, it was really hard, like Mandy said, and you know, the word no is a really empowering word. If you don't know how to say the word no, you should probably learn, because it gives you great power. But we're not really here to preach about Dave Ramsey style, although we do recommend it if you're serious about paying off your debt. But we want to focus more on budgeting techniques and how to start telling your money what to do and not have your money control you. Well, I did a Google search the other day, and 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and that's a frightening number. That's what, 22% of Americans not doing that? Like, that's a very small number compared to 78. So we paid off our debt so we didn't have to freak out, and we saved an emergency fund. And you know, if anyone ever wants to know more about Dave Ramsey, we'd be happy to tell them. But we just want to talk to you about how to outline your budget, and you know, basically we're going to talk about your income versus your outgo and the importance of saving. Because, you know, to my parents' credit, they did teach me you need to save some, spend some, and give some, but I never really understood why. And so if we can help you understand why you're saving money and why you need to be debt-free, and you know, have a plan for your money, hopefully it'll help you understand a little bit better.
And even just understanding how much you can save and how confident you can become being debt-free and having a budget and living by that budget, you can have so much more money to spend on things that you want. Drew had some feet problems back in May, and it was going to cost us what, $400 something, $500 for him to get like custom inserts for his feet. We were able to just pay for it with cash. We didn't even have to worry about it, didn't have to stress about it. They asked us, do you want to put on a payment plan?
I was like,
no, we can pay for
it right now.
Because we were debt free, and that money that we had been putting towards our debt, we were then putting into our savings.
And it felt good.
Yeah.
And not only that, I mean, we've cash flowed a lot of purchases after we became debt free too. We got a smoker for me for my birthday. We bought a deep freeze for our food.
We got a Goal Zero battery for him. He has a CPAP, so when we go camping, he can now have that and not have to worry about finding an outlet to be able to power it.
Peaceful, right?
So with that, having that confidence and that cash flow, you're able to be more prepared as a family for things that are gonna come, guaranteed. We're also able, Drew decided to go back to school this year, and we were able to pay for his entire first semester with cash. And we got him a new laptop that he needed and school supplies, and we didn't even fret about it because we had the money, and that's what it was going to be used for, is for him to better his education.
Better our lives.
Yeah.
So this is just the first episode, you know, just kind of talking about what our plan is for you guys. And we're going to cover different types of budgeting styles, you know, because we want to take a little bit from everywhere and just kind of show you some examples. I've got some examples from real world people that I've pulled their numbers, and we're going to show you like what people are actually living on. I'll tell you some stats on like the average American income, and then I'll do some sample budgeting of what types of payments people are making, car payments, student loans, stuff like that, and just kind of give you some examples of how you can organize your budget and make it so where you can see exactly what it is you're making every month and what you're going to be spending every month. And then hopefully there should be some left over, and you can probably put into savings, but we can talk about that. So we're going to cover budgeting. We're going to later on talk about grocery shopping on a budget. We'll take you to the stores with us. We'll talk about how we have meal planned and how you can meal plan cheaply and
deliciously.
Yeah. A lot of people think that if you eat the same meal every day you get sick of it, but surprisingly, if you make it, you know, a good meal, you don't really get bored of it. So we've been doing meal planning for what, almost 2 years now?
Yeah.
And we have the same lunch every day, and then we'll plan out our meals for the week and go grocery shopping on Saturdays. So we'll also be talking about that. So stay tuned for next week's episode. We're going to be doing Budgeting 101, and I'm hopefully going to try and get these episodes weekly and upload them by Sunday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So stay tuned. Bye.